makes me put on the next subject that we had coming up anyway. We could just stay on that about dating, and we could put in that dating lives when it comes to first date. Dating people. I had a recent incident myself where someone I would say was, but I ain't even go front. He's still there dating. Who lied to me about his age. Now, would you guys say that it was a deal breaker, and what would the lie have to be? Date, while you were dating somebody for it to be, so detrimental that you just ended.
I'll go first. So I'll speak on first the age first. If you were older man, like in Callie's case, if you're an older man lying so you could be a younger man, how young you trying to scoop? You know what I'm saying? How young are you? How young did you lower your age to? That's one. And that would be, so that's that. And I would still wonder what else would you be lying about?
I will say this in regards to the subject. So my thing about the subject is I guess the bigger thing is not, because the bigger thing is just in general that you lie when we first meet you. If
Mhm.
I'm dealing with a lie when a person first gets into the relationship, then it's gonna make you worry about everything they're doing in the future, because the initial situation started off as a lie.
Mhm.
So it makes you wonder, if you can lie about tiny things, where does the extent of your lies go and stop? Will it always be you're going to be lying about something? And so that's where the tricky part gets. Now, it's funny because back in the day, women used to lie to be older and be like, "Oh, she's 16 now. She's telling everybody she's 21 so she can get into something." That's still
Uh-huh.
okay to do. But in general, lying about your age, like Nietzsche, I think, was getting ready to say before her thing messed up, it's kind of a little tricky, because if you're lying to be younger, it's like, are you trying to specifically trap somebody to think that you're that age that you're not? Which also could be problematic too, because now you've taken away that woman's choice to be with whatever she wanted. Because typically, if, let's say, you meet on a dating app, most women have to, or and men, you have to pick a range of what you're willing to accept, this to this. So if you're lying and you weren't originally in their original range, now you've taken away my choice to choose what I want to choose,
Mhm.
because you felt the need to try to get somebody my age, but that's not fair to me. But I'll let
Mhm.
Michi finish, because her mic, I believe, is back now.
Is it working? Because we can always.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, exactly. So depending on what the lie is, like yeah, if you're lying to grab people younger, and then two, how young are you trying to go? Because even though it's like yeah, after a woman turns 18, she grown, but if you 50, I mean, yeah, she grown. Yeah, 21 is grown, but those big, huge 20-year, 25-year gauge apps, I mean, gaps is that's nasty. You know, it could be, but hey, we all know Anna Nicole. You know what I'm saying? She did it. You know,
Got her money though.
yeah, got her money. So, that would be a concern of mine, and I would be wondering what else you lying about. And a deal breaker for I can't necessarily say that will always be a deal breaker. It might be because I want to. We can't be lying about those things just straight out the gate. But I don't know. I have to be in that situation to know that. But I will say a deal breaker for me would be lying about kids.
Mhm. Mhm.
Lying about kids and even a wife necessarily. I mean,
That's
separate.
more than a lie. That's a whole
I've been in a
mission.
situation where someone got separated, and I ain't know right off the back. But if you got a full like certain things, I will be a deal breaker because if you lying about your kids, like those are. And I wouldn't be with a man that don't take care of his kids. So lying
Mhm.
about them and not taking care of them, that's a real definite deal breaker for me.
Mhm. How
But
about you, Lynn?
and the thing is, to take it a step further, to me, when Michi said that the to get the younger girl in the 20-year age gap is gross, just to take it a step further, I wouldn't even say this necessarily gross. I would say the problem is, I have a hard time believing with anybody. I don't care. I know we were growing up, they're always, women mature faster than men. Okay, fine. But regardless if we mature faster, I have a hard time believing that an 18-year-old can be on the same level as a 50-year-old when it comes to career, comes to mindset, comes to conversation, because you've experienced twice the amount of life that she has. So she
Mm-hmm.
cannot relate to you when you're talking about stuff. And I often see a lot of times when you have those relationships with that person being so much older, that's all of a sudden they want to try to tell you how to live
Oh
your
my
life.
gosh. Yes.
They want to tell you not to do something because I
Not
know
this
I've
person.
been through it. You supposed to listen to me. Okay, I get it. But sometimes people need to go through life and make those mistakes to understand,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this doesn't work. You can tell, like they say, a soft head, I mean, a hard head and a soft behind. You have to make them no mistakes and fall on your behind till you understand it doesn't work for you. You can't
Mm-hmm.
just, and that oftentimes those older guys want a woman that they can mold into whatever they want. But in the end, she's not going to typically be that person for you. If she's mentally strong, even though she's young, regardless of what you say, she ain't listening. And I'm going to say this, Kelly, really quick, because this makes me think about that story I saw about a month or two ago about that pastor that married the 18-year-old. To me, that
Yes.
was such a, I felt so heartbroken for that little girl. And
Wasn't it
because
his
I
previous stepdaughter?
no, no, what it was is that her parents had just when she was, when I think when she was 16, her parents got a divorce.
Uh-huh.
So she was taking it very hard that her parents were divorcing. So the family was allowing their pastor, and I'm doing this because I have doubts, they allowed
Mm-hmm.
their pastor to start counseling the girl so she can make it through their divorce. In between him counseling her, he fell in love with her as she's 16 and he's in his 50s or whatever. And so when she turned 18, he married her, and his family and the family had no problem with it. And to me, I felt like we just threw our child out there. But that's one of those cases where there's no way mentally an 18-year-old who you met counseling because she couldn't deal with her parents getting divorced, that you decided to marry when she was 18. There's no way mentally y'all are on the same mind length. And that happens quite often in our society. And I just, and everybody keeps saying, what, they're grown, but at this point,
Technically,
they're
on
grown
paper.
age wise, not mentally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because as a mother of a 19-year-old, and you know what, he's actually a very, very mature. Let me say, he ain't actually the example that I need to use. Now, when Paige become 18, then we're gonna have to worry. But him, he a different. He's actually responsible. He might be a little bit more responsible than I am. So it's like I can't really use that. But even then, he has a lot of things that I do have to, curve as far as maturity and things like that. Him about his understanding about certain things. And it's very skewed. Like, yeah, like you said, that man has double the life expectancy of that person. He could be a grandfather, but almost. And there are experiences in life and things that you go through that, do put that in your head that, okay, this is true, this is gospel, yada yada yada. But yeah, that manipulation tactic. What would be your deal breaker when it comes to, in dating, if somebody lied to you about something?
To me, in general, lies is a deal breaker.
Oh, period. I
Period.
that no
Because
nonsense.
like, cause if you start with lies, how do I know? Like I said, everything you do at that point, I'm thinking I can't really trust you because I'm like,
Hmm.
are you lying?
Hmm.
Are you telling the
Yeah.
truth?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
now if
because you
it's
lied
something
about the age.
right,
If it's
so
what?
but
Oh, yeah.
but if it's a stupid lie, like, oh yeah, girl, you look cute in that dress, that's different.
Mhm.
Because I'm like, he just did it to help my feelings.
Yeah.
But if
Mhm.
you're lying about significant stuff
Yeah.
that may affect your significant other, then I think that should be a deal breaker for anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Deal breakers for me are definitely because I'm not a person. I'm not looking for marriage. I'm not looking for long term. I think I got commitment issues all in my own self. So it's like I'm not. I'm kind of here for a fun time, not a long time type of deal. I mean, until I find somebody that make me say long time. This could be a long time type of thing. So it really, like, to me, like, the age is like, initially, yes, it was off putting because it's like we just starting. It's right out the gate. You wanna at least act right initially. That'd be nice. But so for me, like, an absolute deal breaker would be, like Jimmy said, kids. Don't lie about your kids. I love my babies. It's like you shouldn't. You got responsibilities. You popping babies on this earth. You better take care of them. And I was like, I don't. It's like I ain't with that. Don't be lying about no chick, no tricks. If you got a crazy woman somewhere, tell me, and then let me decide. Because if she pop out the bushes on me, I'm messing up you and her. See, I almost said that. So yeah, that would be an absolute deal breaker for me. But yeah, I get what you're saying. All
So let
right.
me ask a question then for the both of you guys, since you both have kids. If you met a guy and the guy said, I can't do women with children, but they have children. Is that does that make sense? Because I've seen
No,
that. I think it's weird, but I've seen it.
my mom was that person.
Hmm.
My mom, my stepdad, and all the people she dated, I think the one guy had a kid. But my mom was like, I got kids, but I don't want you to have kids. I would, I personally would be like, really?
Right.
But I guess I get it, but I actually prefer you to have kids, because what happens is you get people that come along that don't have kids and they try to tell you how to do with yours, and you be like, where yours at? I understand some stuff is like a general universal, like, you can observe about people and their children and their habits and stuff like that. But some stuff is like, no, 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 no. Just wait till you get yours, till you make little people, you gonna see.
I would
It's
say that I would think it would be weird, but I guess I would look into what all you think you feel like you can handle too. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You may be a person that got one child, all you can handle is one child. You may
It's all right.
you may be a person that has multiple kids and you feel like you got too many and I can't deal with yours. I mean, if you already got that stance on you ain't trying to deal with me and my kids or my child, I don't want to date you no way because you're not even open and who knows how you are in your kid's life. Because I couldn't just imagine no awesome father. Then,
Mm.
you know what I mean? And then you can't tolerate nobody. You ain't got enough love in your heart for nobody else's kids. Then you don't need to be with me anyway because I need somebody that if I'm going to go forward into the relationship with, I need you to have love for my child.
Mhm. Mhm. I could definitely I definitely say I like she said, I believe that too. Like, how could you not want children if you I mean, I get it. You know what? I think it's kind of like a way of saying initially, like, I don't want to do no extra stuff, no extra people. Okay. It's like, yeah, you can come on here, but you talking about some extra little ones. I don't want to do it. It's like a roundabout way of saying that. Like, I'd rather not. That is their own personal preference. As messed up as it may be, it is their personal preference. And you got a choice whether to stay there with it or go. I definitely, as a person with kids, would be like, no. And it's like, you should probably explore your feelings about that. It's like, I ain't telling you, I actually wouldn't even talk about it. I just be like, okay, boo, go on.
Well, some people, I think it may be a situation where they're the ones I've heard of doing this because they just didn't. It's not that they don't like kids. I think it's more of a situation where I don't not necessarily into having any more kids. So I think it was one of those things like if we got together, now that adds additional kids, and so now we have more. But I do sometimes think it's interesting. That people want to date somebody without kids because if you don't want any kids and she doesn't have any kids, chances are she's going to want to have kids. So
Yeah.
now you're going to be in the situation of y'all are having kids now because that's what
Yeah.
she wants. So I don't know. I just think it's weird. And which is weird about the whole lying about your age thing because honestly, a lot of times people may have accepted you at the age that you are naturally at, but you just didn't give them a choice. So that's the weird
Exactly. I would say in my situation, I would have scrolled right on past. But no, no,
part.
no. I'll take it back. I'll take it back. If you're cute enough, because it's plenty of, I don't even want to say the word zaddy, because it just make me cringe. It's like I got two daddies on. That's weird. It's
Right.
odd to me. But it's so
Like, what about the word? Well, I got friends that call they men daddy, and yeah, so that's a controversial word as well.
yeah, I can't. I can't with the. I can't with the daddy. It's just because I literally call my father daddy.
And but
Still
they always used
now,
to say that
so
women who did that is because they had daddy issues.
they yeah. Because I can't even bring myself. First of all, as a
Or
person,
could it be the men too that because
they will
what
ask
what the
usually.
right? So do you just naturally? I would have to like like Monique, because she always say,
Mm,
"Daddy,
mhm, mhm.
daddy, daddy." So
Oh, she definitely got daddy issues. Not to
yeah,
poke
she
fun,
does.
but
But I wonder, did he ever say, "Call me daddy," or was that something naturally you just did?
I would think it would maybe be natural because you'd have to feel the inkling. Like we cringing because we can't say it. It's like it had to kind of be in you to be able to say it, I guess. I don't like none of that pet
Intimate
name
moment,
stuff,
they could
like
have been like,
period though.
"Call me daddy,"
Uh
and then
yeah.
maybe they just took on the word and just said,
I don't
"Okay,
actually think I
daddy."
even dated anybody who ever told me to call them daddy. That's why it's so
Me neither, but I've
interesting.
heard it
I
before. So
have like, oh, like who is that daddy stuff? It's like, no, it's not. It's
No,
mine.
his
Thank
name is
you. That's South Africa. Welcome. You can visit, but it's mine. I hate. Oh, that brings us to yeah. That's what I call mine, South Africa. But
I don't even want to know the why.
right, and I'm like, wait, what? What? I'm like, I'm so confused. I'm like, wait, what is South
Oh,
Africa?
they went to South Africa
yeah,
too?
you know they
So
go to South
okay, so
Africa. And with me, with white person, depending on where you go, they might go to the south of Italy. They might go to man South Africa.
yeah, so some people give names to either their man or their man's man.
Yeah, I can't. I can't. I don't even like the pet names. Honestly, I don't like. I do the babe thing, but I don't love like the I don't like the talk during all of it. Shut up. Why don't make me think
Just get to
while
it.
we're doing this and I'm trying to get my rocks off. I don't want to think. It's a feeling for me. So when you ask me questions, it throw me off and I'm like, especially the answer to questions that they ask. Are you sorry guys, this isn't for children. Are you are you coming? Did you come? Like stop asking me. Stop asking me. Just be in the moment. You gonna feel if I do. If you're doing it right. I'm just saying. And
Some
then
won't.
and then also whose is this? You gonna give me my stuff? It's like it's not yours. It's not yours. I'm loaning it
Be
to you.
like orange, that orange president, and say, "Snatch him by the
Right. It's
ponytail,
it's like
snatch him
it's
by the ponytail."
yeah, it throw me off because it's like if it's like, oh, is this mine? No, it's mine. Thank you. It's like don't ask me that stuff. Say stuff like, oh, your hair, your skin is soft. Say stuff about me. Don't say something like that. Don't be asking me something about it, especially making this about you right now. And I'm trying to get my stuff out. Shut up. Stop talking. I just don't. I don't
About the both of
understand
you.
it.
No.
Sorry, person that's gonna see this. People see this, but for real, this is my. I hate it. All right, that's a good time to move on to the next subject. All right, so there was, I believe, earlier this month, there was a incident in Idaho, I believe, where they arrested 31 members. Is that a 31? Sorry, I can't quite see that. Yeah, 31 members of a white supremacist group. And during that time, and I felt like to me, if you guys see the video, it looked a bit staged. I'm gonna be honest. Cause to me, you got all of these guys standing around, and you'll see initially they were like that for a hot minute right here. Where the guys are kind of, the police are kind of standing all around them, and everyone's taking videos of the guys, and they're just, first of all, hands not crossed behind your knees. I got that from a person an ex of mine who says that he thinks it was staged. He was like, because don't they make you lay on your stomach and cross your knees? I was like, sir, I don't know nothing about that. I've never
Not
been
always though.
arrested. So I felt like it was almost staged. And I don't know why I felt like that, because it just seemed very, to me, it just seemed very just staged. So what do you guys think about that? I guess they foiled a plan for them to storm a pride parade or a pride event and things like that. So they, and they were arrested. I didn't check in to see if they actually are still
Did they
incarcerated.
have weapons?
Did they have weapons? I don't know. They probably
Okay.
did. I'm sure. Let's see.
Now,
Did they seize any weapons from them? Let me look that up on the story. Here, I'll look it up. Now what?
well, because I can't, I thought I seen that they had weapons, but if they didn't, then I just want to ask that question because I was at the beach the other day, and even though the weapon on this black guy wasn't visible. They spotted him out. He had the little man purse on him, and they walked up to him and like opened up this bag. Didn't say, "Let me search you." Let me nothing. It was a weapon in there, and they arrested him, bent him down, everything. So we all know the tactics they use when it comes to the color of the skin. We, what I mean. They done so much stuff to us. If we would have came down there, we probably would. We more than likely would have been harmed in our arrest. The fact that we are still dealing with known white supremacists, known groups of hate, and they're just able to operate. And okay, we arrested them. I don't know what they were charged with, but the care that they give to these known hate groups, the care that they give to um uh white people carrying, weapons and shooting, the care that they just have in their heart for them to not just kill on sight or do anything on sight. I just would say that they give a lot of care to those people, and I guess they just got a slap on the wrist because they're obviously we know that hate groups and white supremacists and those three-letter K's, we know that they could operate and be fine, and nothing said about them to the white folks. The white folks don't mention it. They don't say nothing. They they give them supremacists, but they are terrorists too. But they don't even like to put that word on white people. When white people do stuff, they don't get terrorists or a terrorist attack. A gunman. But if it was another nationality, it's terrorists.
Right.
They got to let us know it's a black man too. So.
Right. And then I guess what happened was someone got an anonymous tip allegedly that they were going to storm a pride parade. And this is from NBC News. I'm getting this from and it's like, who's that anonymous tip? And then what they say, yes, they did have weapons.
The crazy thing about it is, like, there's an article, and I think it may be on CNN. It was saying how the problem with this thing is this shows how DOJ and FBI deprioritize white supremacy groups, because they were saying how this same group is the group that had been known to march other places and that had never been a problem. Like, they had went to some Black Lives Matter things. They were at other events for, I think, LGBTQ, I can't remember the rest of the letter, sorry, groups. And so this group has been known to do things, and it wasn't until they got this anonymous tip that it was such an issue. But I think the biggest thing that's a little bit more shocking and kind of will irritate you more is the fact that there's an article that says that there's a guy who paid maybe like $2,200 to bail out about 7 people. So how is their bail only $2,200 for 7 people?
Right.
So then I had to go look it up. And then I see, and I wanted to read this. It actually says that they were facing misdemeanor charges for conspiracy to riot. Misdemeanor charges for its conspiracy to riot. Now, you can't even own a gun legally, driving your car, have a concealed carry permit, and be a black man without either dying or having the harshest thing that the law can provide for that charge. But some kind of way you can randomly only get a misdemeanor charge. Just like I remember, so it's irritating to me that we're police so hard. One of the things I did in school for my capstone project for my college graduation was, it was about the fact that Arizona had a disproportionate amount of African American men and people of color in their prison system, when when African Americans only made up, I think it was 12% of the population in Arizona.
I was literally about to say, how many black people in Arizona exactly?
So that's what I'm saying. So it's crazy that your prison system is full of black men and brown men, but we make up 12 and like 6% of the population between the two. So it was something that was really low. When I talked to a lot of the people I had to interview, they said the problem is that we got harsher sentencing for people of color when doing things. And so that's always been something that's very ticky to me. I'm like, you will arrest a black person for a weed charge and you want to give them 20 years for having such a small bag of weed, but our counterparts, our white counterparts, could do the same thing and they get probation. And so
Mm-hmm.
to me, that this was a glaring show of that. If you're going to give them a misdemeanor charge for something like that, but when Black Lives people were rioting all through the cities after George Floyd, you were ready to charge them with some major stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, they had every right to do it because we have the right to actually, protest. We have that right. But they turn into the peaceful protests into bloodbaths by throwing things into crowds, throwing smoke bombs, hitting people with rubber
Mm-hmm.
bullets. So why can these people peacefully have this riot and get misdemeanors, but you're ready to charge people with felony things from when we're marching because we're tired of being treated a certain way?
Ready to
So
take us out. Meanwhile, you got a whole group of white kids in Seattle called Antifa who's sitting around there. They, they're the liberal side though, but they are a radical liberal side
And
who
that's
sitting
the
down there
thing.
that took over a whole damn
They
what
had weapons.
city
What would
and
y'all
got
think?
weapons,
What
and
would
then
y'all think they was
still
gonna do
they
with those
still there to
weapons?
this day.
What
No
did they think
police
that?
interference.
Michi, I can't hear you. Hold on.
You said what?
Go now. Go ahead,
What did
Michi.
they think they was gonna do with those weapons?
Yep.
Oh, we just came here
We just wanted to
They
drinking
show
don't
you this
care.
nice
and doing
gun. See how this
that.
gun looks? It's very
Mm-hmm.
nice.
Those white folks, they talk about the way black people, okay, yeah, riot and damage. Those white folks stormed the freaking
Capital.
Capitol, and
And
only
some
one
of them
person
out.
died.
Some of them out right now today.
Out. They only
Scot
gave
free.
a few people some charges. Those white folks stormed the Capitol. We supposed to,
Treason. High
y'all just
treason.
anybody that want to get us, they can get us because y'all made it. Civilians could walk up to y'all that place. Y'all place of business. Y'all supposed to be protecting us. They could just
Mm-hmm.
walk up to there and walk in.
That's
You
why
mean
I
to tell me
say
it was that easy the whole time?
That's why I say when I hear people talk about when they say like, oh, when China gonna take over, and if somebody Russia was to come over and stuff, we screwed. Sorry to break it
Yeah,
to
because
you. We
these
don't
white
have fighters, number one.
these
And
white
number
Americans
two, it's like they just ain't
these
got it
white
in them.
Americans just show how it was done. Okay, they said this how you do it, and if you don't,
You know,
show
I
you
was
how to
thinking
do it.
about what's the one movie with is it who play it? White House Down, White Hawk Down. What's the one where they took over the White House?
I
What's
don't know.
the
Olympus is falling.
There's two
yeah.
down there's like Olympus is falling.
Yeah, but it was this whole extravagant
Version. Olympus.
yeah, it was this whole extravagant, like laid out plan to get up in a White House. And I'm like, because it, it was like, you had to go through here, sneak through here, do this, put this bomb here, whatever. Joker just went right through the front door.
Long as you white, them
It's
white folks just showed you how to go storm the Capitol.
That's true. If you black, yeah, nah, you might get dropped. Don't
Right. And it was actually crazy. I remember when the riots happened because here, because I'm not that far from it. And my aunt was so worried and she was like, y'all gotta stay inside. They're at the Capitol. And I was like, listen, these folks ain't coming up in here. I got guns too. And it's not happening. But it's just crazy that you could storm a Capitol, people could shoot and kill people. And the majority of the people didn't face anything. I know they're right now trying to have this whole congressional hearing and stuff about the January 6th stuff. But I mean, in the big scheme of things, do we actually believe anything major is going to happen to anybody?
yeah. And that's why I think this whole white supremacy is right. It's the shenanigans, because I feel like they stand for a principle that does not exist. You stand for this principle, first of all, that white purists, this America, and yada yada yada. And we all know what happened to the indigenous people of this place, and we all know how all of us are immigrants. Well, some of them involuntary, thank you, to this country. And we know that history. We know that depending on who's in power, who has the most money, who has the most influence, that sways on how we do justice. There is no actual justice system, if you got the scratch, you can make it through. That like all of these principles of purity and this is how we do it in America and yada yada. It's honestly situational. Because even with the white people, you got Mr. John Snowden who had high treason supposedly with Russia, and then we get another president who's shaking hands and kicking and talking about this my buddy. But he's still over there in exile because if he come over here, he getting locked in. So it's like it's almost like a joke to a certain extent. So I almost feel like y'all go have a nice iced tea, a nice American iced tea with a little lemon, and chill out. Chill out on your little plantation porch and just breathe. What is the bit? What's wrong? You say what, Demetrius? Oh.
The problem is with the way this country was founded and the way it's always been set up, we will never have an equal shot at anything because you can't. It's like doing a race. You like they say, we're all at the starting line together. You let people have that what we call the handicap when you race, and you let them start up here and you let everybody else start back here. No matter how fast you are, if you have that handicap where you're in the back and they're in the front, you're never going to get to the front. So it doesn't matter how fast they run. They can be like Flojo, they could be Shikari, but you is not going to catch up.
Yeah.
Because you will always start it in the back. And so that's why I always have this thing about, I heard somebody talking about reparations recently, and it was just this whole big conversation, and there were people who were not foundational Black Americans. They were from other places, meaning that they migrated here like in the last few years or whatever, and they were saying, oh, reparations shouldn't be given. I was like, but the thing is, people think Black people were just asked for reparations to be asking for. No, honestly, if you gave reparations to those people that had to deal with the stuff, it's generational. So when your family was broke, it's like every generation may do a little bit better, but you're never going to catch up to your counterparts.
That's true.
Because you're in general, systematically, you always never had anything. So when you do get things like Black people, on average, credit is a little bit lower because they didn't know how to use credit because we were never given credit. So when we finally started getting credit, people were like, oh my God, I got free money. Like literally you running around and you're spending. Whereas this other group of people have known about credit since the beginning because they were getting it. So they were able to teach their kids, this is how you use it, this is what you do. But your parents can't teach you what they don't know. And our society is not teaching us what we don't know because they just don't care enough. So it's reparations. Don't get me
And then
started
it's
on
like the thing
reparations.
when I hear about, because like you say, like when people who come over here, it's like sometimes their argument is, I feel like it's almost not like a haterism per se, but almost one of those things is we have it bad in our country too. You don't see us asking for reparations. It's like, first of all, you don't go here. All right. So we ain't talking about what y'all do in y'all
And
country.
nobody's
Second of all, if we had that, oh sorry. Second of all, if we had that, if let's say okay, bad things happened everywhere. Bad things happen in your country. The simple fact is that the U.S. paid out reparations to many other groups that had less things done to them. So I think that we are more than entitled for reparations for the horrible atrocities that were done to our people. So whatever y'all do over there, that be y'all. But over here, y'all set the precedent. And I had this conversation with one of my patients to where it's like, oh, well, Black people, I didn't understand the rioting and I didn't understand all of that. And, I mean, it's better now and this and that, things ain't going to be perfect. But it's like, no, 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 no. Guess what? Just like you hear people yell, I know my rights, yada, yada, yada. You people set the Constitution up to say all men are created equal. You people are the one that said land of the free, home of the brave. So guess what? Due to the doctrine that you and your forefathers put forward, this contract, I'm going to need you to live up to it at the very basic level of it. So don't
And
get
at the
mad because
time the
we asking for
Constitution
that.
written, we weren't considered men.
and then
Oh,
also
right.
at the end of the day, I like it goes along with people say, go back to your country. Listen, yeah, we were stolen.
Right. That's what I say. Involuntary. Some people
Grabbed from where we were.
voluntary.
Had things went different and we were able to stay where we were and do our own stuff. We took on y'all names. Y'all took us, stripped us from everything. You goddamn right you owe us reparations and more.
Yes, and continue to do so. And the thing, like when we talk about social media and its influence and things like that, this isn't new. Propaganda ain't new. That's how you came to the image of the modern black man, how it is now. It was manufactured. How is it that right from get go, when you get put out of, when you're freed out of slavery, and then you now all of a sudden what everything just goes to normal. Now I'm a ex-slave. I still have these ingrained things in me. People around me, I see I have no power, and I have no say. If I say it's black and they say it's white, law, them. I have no power whatsoever. But I'm this scary black man that's gonna come and take all of your women and kill your babies and steal and do all of this stuff. I have all of that ability right from get go when black people came out of surgery, well, out of slavery. Then there was it was a whole campaign that lives on today, that thug, that whatever. And you realize, especially as you get older, once you start talking to people from other races, you hear Reddit, good for it. You see other people's stories from other cultures. First of all, I was about to say, everybody have messed up things in their families, in their lives, in their cultures, including white people. Like I said, it's a whole ID channel dedicated to the mess they do to each other. Just saying. Okay, and they got a lot of content. So obviously, it ain't just the black people, but it's this campaign, this propaganda that was put out there. Like originally, you could go just early days. The white woman whistle. Oh, he raped me. Oh, they're gonna get our children. This whole thing to not even give black people a chance. Redlining and all of those things. You mean to tell me that had no effect on where I am today?
It did.
It's like, are you kidding me? And yeah, reparations. No, it's not going to change it. But guess what? It might make me shut up for a bit.
Well, no. See,
So
the thing
do
about
it.
it is, reparations would have had its biggest impact
Mm-hmm.
had it been given following slavery,
I believe that. Yeah, I believe
because
it.
then you would have been able to build generational wealth.
And
Now,
making people though also uh, make them, take the, I don't even know the word I'm looking
it's
for.
not
Make
that they
people
would take.
actually participate in that, because like people,
They
white
wouldn't have
people,
took
they were like,
accountability if that's what you're
yeah,
looking for. They
but
wouldn't.
no, not accountability, but like as far as like, give those black people those reparations, the 40 acres and a mule money or whatever, and also make it so that it's hard, those citizens cannot mess with those said black people. It should
Right.
have been a set something from the get-go. This was wrong. We should never did that, like they did in Germany after the Holocaust. They came out publicly and said this was wrong, this was foul. We stood by and we let all those Jewish people die, and we knew it was happening and things like that. Here you go, your reparations. We are never even going to speak the name Nazi here because we are ashamed of it. But Americans still walk around, some of them still with the Confederate flag, like, yeah, this was the good old days, good
But
old
that's
boys
the
type of
difference. What I
stuff.
said when I said that it would have made
Mm-hmm.
its biggest impact had it been given
Mm-hmm.
following slavery, because we could have made our generational wealth, which we were
Mm-hmm.
robbed of. And that's what irritates me. I remember having a conversation with somebody one time, and they were making the statement that um, black people were not the ones who had it the worst out of all the people in history, that, Jewish people did. And I said, but the difference
Did
between
they?
us and
Did they
them,
really?
I said that way more people in general died during slavery and following slavery with the Jim Crow laws than in the Holocaust. I said, and on top of that, they were given something from their country as an apology for it.
Mm-hmm.
We were never given anything. And now I'm hearing people make stupid comments like, oh, all they're going to do is buy J's, buy cars, whatever. That's fine. Give me my
Mm-hmm.
money. Let me buy my J's, let me buy
My
my car, let me buy
business.
whatever I want to buy with it. If
Mm-hmm.
I want to invest it, let me do that. But you have
Mm-hmm.
to make amends some way, which we have never quite figured out why they haven't. Well, we know why they haven't, but they haven't quite figured out why they're not going to make amends for it. And now you've actually made it harder for yourself, because now you have to go back and not just do it to these families, you got to also do it to their descendants too. So
Mm-hmm.
had you done it from the beginning, you would have saved yourself a whole lot of money. But now, since you got to trap all of these people that are now descendants, because now they're all dealing with the same stigma and the same generational, you know, issues, because they weren't ever given this. And
Ooh.
so
because
that
it
makes a bigger
Side note.
conversation.
Side note. Do mixed kids get
They can
reparations?
get half.
yeah.
Okay.
Because at the end of
They
the
can
day,
get a quarter or a
no,
half.
they definitely get reparations because had
That's a
no
lot of
white
people.
man slept with a lot of, we all, whether your tint is what your tint of your skin color is,
Mhm.
we all got some mixture in us anyway,
Yeah,
because
that's the American. That's for sure.
yeah,
That's the
from the
African
very
American.
it doesn't matter your skin color or your hair texture to show what's in your DNA. So if they hadn't mixed up us in the beginning, then I'm not gonna say we still wouldn't have mixed up later on, but they didn't. You didn't give nobody no choice to do nothing.
We're
You know what I'm
forced.
saying? You didn't give nobody no
Mm.
choice to make their own choices. You did what you wanted to do, and that's why we can't get what we need, because there's still hate in their hearts, and they still have hate for us. The Jewish people got their reparations, they got their apology, and they're doing very wealthy. And guess what? So what if they want to buy J's, Cuban links, whatever? White people buy Ferraris, Tesla,
Mhm.
all the expensive yachts and everything that we
Tigers and lions
tigers,
and
lions, bears, and
oh
tigers,
my.
all in the freaking wilderness. Them was our life. So
And even if you wasn't giving reparations, you need to give us money as a thank you. Because let's be clear about this, in case people,
exactly,
I'm going to
like
give
it
y'all
shouldn't
this
have mattered.
history lesson. If all of this, a lot of this fancy stuff that made America what it was, it wouldn't have got it had you not packed my people up on the boats. Why did we learn how to make the cotton gin? Why did we learn about traffic lights? Why did we learn how to make a lawnmower? Why did we learn how to process peanuts to make peanut? Because we were the
Traffic
ones,
lights,
doing the work. So we knew where we needed something to help us work. So
heart
we made
surgery.
these things up. So, right. So none of this stuff would be here. So if you ain't gonna give my reparation, let's give me a thank you bonus. How about that?
Yep. And half the time, oh, they just gonna name a school after somebody.
I
That's what they
don't
be.
great, but the school ain't gonna pay these bills. Okay.
I'm telling you, and it's one of those. It is. I feel like, and that's what I was thinking about. Like, what do you guys think? What is the issue with people? Sometimes I think it's almost like a jealousy. It is like a, oh, you ain't that great, and or is it, what is it that makes it, even sometimes where you see like a woman or a black person. I remember hearing on the radio a long time ago where somebody, I think they had where you could come in and just give any question you wanted, and there was a Caucasian woman that came on and was like, I don't understand why black people always have to say black or black this and black that. Why does it always have to be a black thing? And it's like, why are you mad?
Y'all made it a
Exactly.
black thing, though. That's the thing. You made it where we still could have been proud of our skin color, our culture, and everything. Everybody has a right to be proud of where they came from. I always tell people this: in certain different parts of the region and where we live, different things are grown. Just like I always think how when I was watching the little documentary or whatever, or the channels that they come on, and how did those folks know that it was silk on silkworms because they was eating it? Now, some people needed to be the catalyst and the people
Mhm.
who do those things, because I wasn't eating no. If I didn't have to, I wasn't eating no worm, and I was gonna say, "Oh, dang, this got a fine texture. I can make silk from this." It's certain things like avocados ain't grown everywhere due to our climate here in the Midwest. We can't sustain a lot of things all year round.
Mhm. Mhm.
Some places have the agriculture and everything like that to grow certain things that we need, and just different ways of people brought up due to language and everything. So it's okay to, yeah. They don't say to Hispanic people, "I'm tired of them.
Yeah, they
I'm
they
tired
do.
of them celebrating the Day of the Dead or their culture,
Mhm.
and or speaking
Mhm.
Spanish and got all these mariachi." Nobody says nothing about their head wraps, their clothes, their whimsical things, but we tie something on our head, or and that's not just we're not the only culture that ties our hair up, but anytime we do something, wear our hair a certain way, anything, it's like, why,
Question.
why,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah. To the very thing of trying to pet us. That's a why kind of thing. I don't s- sometimes when I've heard people say, people of a different color say, like, well, why can't they just do this? Well, why can't they just do that? And a lot of times I think it's also because they feel uncomfortable they feel uncomfortable with things they don't know about. So it's like, no, 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 make me feel better and do things like I would, so that I feel better, that I can trust you to be like me
Controlling.
and control. Yeah, like that same thing. It's like, it's almost, I feel like almost ingrained sometime for you to be like, yeah, do what I need you to do. It's like, I almost want to say, I'm sorry to my white friends that I love you, but it's like sometimes it's in your DNA where it's just like, I need to be your master in some kind of way still.
And if they can't do it, so why should you be uncomfortable? Why should you be uncomfortable with something that I'm doing, and you're telling me I should do it, or why can't I do it this way? Why can't I do it my way? Why?
Yeah. Because it's that thing when they say, when somebody says to somebody, you're intimidating. And it's like, no, I'm not intimidating. You're intimidated. I'm not scary. You're scared of me. I've done nothing to you
And they're
to
not.
make you feel that way. So why do you? That's a personal thing
And
that
when
you
it
need to
comes
work
to
on.
this whole black and white thing, I
Mhm.
don't like those Karens and stuff talking about being scared of us. We have more reason and every right to be scared of y'all because we
Trying to
ain't
tell you.
go and
And
do it.
it's been like that. It's been like that from get go.
Don't try to reverse it around and make us seem like, oh, you're so scared of me. Are you scared of the fact of now that we have more freedom that we might do what y'all did to us? We might hang y'all for some trees and catch all the white boys up and put them in trees, or
Mm-hmm.
because as crazy as people are, or the things that they do, they could go do that. They could go and do the same things that was done to us, and y'all will start seeing, instead of us being in the tree being lynched, y'all little white boys being in the tree being lynched. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
white boys castrated, because somebody could go around and do that if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm. It's that Time to Kill. Remember on Time to Kill when
Yeah,
he was during the trial, and then he was explaining what happened to that little girl, and then he had them close their eyes, and he had to say, "Now imagine they're white," and all of them
it was
open their eyes like, "Wait a minute, hold up,
not
what's
that they were
this?"
white, because it does not happen to white people.
It's
And
the
because he was
meaning to
black.
relate.
That
Mm-hmm.
was my favorite movie.
Leo, you frozen?
Yeah, yeah. No, I was listening.
Oh,
So
okay.
you're saying that was your favorite movie. It's a good movie, but I'm not gonna lie. If you've ever read that book will make you cry.
Oh no, I can't. I can't read. I can't
Oh no, yeah,
watch
I didn't
not
read the
even
book.
dramas.
Because
Like,
the book it was very detailed with what happened,
Leo is
and
yeah, Leo, your picture is a little frozen.
it's because I actually went on a web page.
Oh,
That was
okay.
me.
oh,
So yeah,
you would
my
have missed
bad.
this one with your
Because
eye.
I was gonna put this picture up for our group chat before we end the chat eventually, but I wanted to celebrate something, so I was gonna throw it up there.
Oh, okay,
But go ahead.
okay.
But yeah, Time to Kill, what I was saying, is very, very detailed, and it's very it'll mess you up.
Man, I couldn't even imagine. Like, I can't even watch. I can't even watch. What's that? Any drama. Like, I love Queen of the South. I, initially, like, it's a great show. I like it. It's very good. It's very intriguing, but it's something about like knowing that somebody's gonna die, somebody's gonna hurt, somebody's gonna. It's like, no, if I gotta cry, my heart gotta ache. I don't want to watch this. I want to laugh.
Yeah, I
I,
like. I mean, I like watching real. Like, I can't watch like unsolved like stuff that's not real.
mm,
I can't really get into a lot of that. But I'm like, I watch 48 Hours. I watch. It still makes me feel hurtful and it makes me cry sometimes. But sometimes it's just. I mean, eventually. I mean, we know everything that a lot of things that keep happening anyway. But
yeah. When it comes to the no, because we were saying how like I can't watch dramas. And when it comes to gangster movies, I remember being younger and watching Fresh, and when that little girl got shot in the playground, just like having a good time, and I was like, no, no, I was depressed. Like I said before, when I saw Titanic the first time in seventh grade, I was depressed for a whole damn week because I'm like, everybody died. Jack and Rose will never be able to find love. All right, ladies. So we about an hour 33 in. Thank you everyone for joining us on our first episode of Three P's on the Pod. Once again, I am Kelly B.
I'm LB Cherie.
Mrs. Thomas. Wow.
Usually, sorry.